Hi there, my name is Anne, and in this video I will be showing you guys a speed paint of the diamond painting that I recently unboxed in a previous video and that I got from Victoria's Moon. This will be a video in which I review the things that I liked and didn't like about this diamond painting and just overall my progress and my experience of making this diamond painting. And I just want to mention that I did get this painting for free from Victoria's Moon. They asked if I would like to review one of their products and if they could send one to me for free, and I said yes. But that doesn't mean that this is going to be a biased review or that I'm not gonna say my honest opinion. I'm not getting paid to make this video, so they're not telling me what I can and can't say. If I don't like something, I will tell you guys. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that I did get this for free. But with that out of the way, let's begin. I really love cherry blossoms, so for the design I chose this Japanese pavilion and a cherry blossom tree in the foreground, and in the background you can see a mountain, probably Mount Fuji. I chose to go with a 40 by 50 centimeter canvas and square drills. You can also get round drills, and you can also get different sizes. They come in bigger and smaller sizes than my 40 by 50. But for this particular painting I do suggest that you don't go below the 40 by 50 because there's already quite a lot of loss of detail. I don't think you should go smaller with this design. The first thing that I want to talk about is about all the applicators that I got for a little bit. And I started off this painting with the special pen that came with the set, so not the standard pen that you get with every single set. This is a special one that you can order separately on their website. And a lovely viewer left a comment on my unboxing video telling me that the wax applicator that was on that pen is actually also for picking up diamonds. So thank you so much for telling me, I didn't know that. But I didn't use that side of the pen immediately. I started off actually with the very fine tip that you get, and you still need to put wax in it. And at first, because it was a long time since I had made a diamond painting, I was a little bit hesitant and a little bit unsure if I liked that pen or not, because it's a very small tip. It's very hard to control in the beginning, and I didn't really know if I was placing the diamonds correct or not, or if that smaller applicator was easier or not. But in the end, I love that applicator a lot. Because I did switch back at one point to the standard pen that every single diamond painting gets. And don't get me wrong, you can make this painting without the special applicator, but using the normal pen was like a setback for me because suddenly I lost all control. There's such a big difference in the sizes of the applicator that with the standard one I didn't feel like I had the same amount of control. The smaller pen was so great. I really loved it. But you can use the standard pen. You don't need the special applicator to work with a diamond painting or to get a better finish. It's just an extra bonus because I felt so much fancier using that one than the standard one. But I do have to say with the special applicator that I don't really like the wax tip. I did try to use it also on this diamond painting, and I just felt that I couldn't get enough control, even like there was no control at all. I didn't know how to place the diamonds correctly using that wax tip. So I'm still very confused by it. If you're supposed to use that applicator for that purpose. So if you know, please let me know, because I'm pretty sure I'm doing it wrong or something, because it just seems so inconvenient to use that applicator. But what I did use the wax tip for was for actually picking up defective diamonds on my tray. So if I had like scrap pieces of plastic or something like that, I really liked using the wax tip to get them out of my tray and put them on the side. The tweezers that came with this set work fine. I do wish that they would be a little bit more sturdier, because if I had placed a diamond wrong and it was being stubborn and wouldn't come loose easily, what sometimes would happen with the tweezers was that if I picked up the diamond, it would sometimes twist the tweezers and the diamond would be stuck between the twisted tweezer. It's not like it's a big issue. You can just pick the diamonds between the tweezer and it would be fine again. It works normal again. It's not like you broke the tweezers. But They could be a little bit sturdier so that they don't do that, but they work just fine. And if you've seen my first diamond painting video, you will know that I don't like the multi-tool, like at all. But for this video, I decided that I would try it again. And I am proud to announce that now, after trying it again, I gladly take that statement back. I really love the multiple tool now. What is it? Multi-tool, multiple tool, multiple placer? There are so many names for all the applicators and I don't know. I'm going to call it multi or multiple tool. And so at first, when I tried it again, I did come to the same conclusion as last time, which is that I don't like it because I couldn't place the diamonds in the beginning correctly and I always had to use the tweezers to pick them up again and replace them correctly. And so I didn't really want to keep using it if I was just gonna have to replace them again. But I continued it more and more, and I had a thought, am I not placing the diamonds faster with the multiple tool, even if I have to pick up the tweezers again and use it, than if I would use the normal pen and did the same amount of diamonds? I honestly don't know the answer to that question, but it felt like it, so I kept using it. And I realized I really like this, like love it actually. And especially this one, the one that came with it, because you can place up to like 10 diamonds on this thing and I really like that. And I also use it for placing less than 10 diamonds for like 3 or 4 or something. And I'm really glad that I decided to keep using it because in the end, to me, it did seem like I was going faster with it. And I'm also considering buying smaller of these things for like, as I said, 3 or 4 drills, because I do like the tin, because a lot of diamonds, but I do want to try out if it changes my pace and if I like working with 2 applicators or like 2 multiple tools. So if you guys know a website where they sell these kinds of applicators with like lesser diamonds, please let me know, because I did look on the Victoria's Moon website and they didn't have it. So I really want to know where I can buy some of those applicators. So please leave it in the comments below if you know it. So now let's move on to talk about the canvas itself. As you can see, this canvas has an opaque cover. And I know it's opaque because the glue that's on this canvas is a double-sided adhesive. It would be a clear cover if they had poured the glue onto the canvas. And I know that the opaque cover has nothing to do with customer satisfaction or something like that. It's just a practical reason. But I underestimated how much I love that it has an opaque cover. Because that way, while you're doing the diamond painting, you don't see the parts that you haven't done and just see your finished result. And I just love the fact that you can see your canvas slowly but surely come together and you see your painting come to life without spoiling the rest of your canvas. So I really like that. And another thing that I really love about this canvas is that it has a grid on it. So some of the lines on the canvas are a little bit thicker and a little bit more black, and they make up a grid that separates the canvas in tiny squares. And maybe it is because I'm a beginner and I haven't really done a lot of diamond paintings, and maybe it's because those were the not normal ones and maybe this is normal. But I really loved and was very surprised and happy that it came with a grid. I really like it because that makes it so that I can square off a certain area and work with a certain area of a certain size. And I can decide how much I want to do in one sitting way better than normal. Because I didn't realize that this canvas had a grid in the beginning when I started it. And I just picked a random size of square and made that every single time. But once I realized I had a grid and realized I could use it to make a certain area and keep it consistent, I really liked it because I could get a better perspective on the progress that I made. Because I worked with 3 by 3 squares, so like 9 squares in total, and I could count out how many squares I needed to do for the row until that row was complete. And I just got a way better perspective and like could way better manage my time this way, so that I knew how much time I still had left and how much I still needed to do in order to finish this painting. And I don't know, I just like the fact that I have almost more control over my diamond painting because I now knew how much I had already done. But I do have to mention that the grid at the bottom of the canvas wasn't printed clear. They like kind of blended in with the rest of the lines on the canvas, so that was quite of a shame. But I still really like it, but it should have been printed a little bit better. And that brings me to my next and probably biggest complaint, and that is how they printed the design on this canvas. So there's already the grid that I just talked about, but there are also other issues that I had with it. And the smallest one is that towards the bottom right corner of this canvas, it was printed vaguely. Like the symbols were printed pretty vague, almost like the canvas had moved while it was being printed on. So the symbols were vague. I don't know how to explain it. I will show a picture of what I mean. And like, the picture isn't blurry, the canvas was blurry. And at first I was really disappointed because I thought that it would interfere with my process and that it would slow me down. But I'm happy to tell, and was also happy to find out, that it's not an issue. Because yes, once I stopped diamond painting, I could see that the canvas was blurry and that the symbols weren't sharp or like weren't defined. But once I started diamond painting with it, I didn't notice it. Like, it felt in the background, I could just read the symbols quite clearly. So in the end, it wasn't an issue, but it still shouldn't have been a concern of mine. It should have just been printed correctly from the beginning. And with the next thing, I also have to retract a statement that I made in my first diamond painting. I said that I didn't really see the need for using a light box, and yeah, I have to retract that statement really badly. I really could have used a light box for this one. The symbols weren't always printed with the same opacity on the canvas, so some of them were lighter and others were darker. And for some drills that didn't really matter. For example, I have my add drill, and I always knew that that add was an add because the background color is green, and it's the only green background color that there is. So I always knew which diamonds to pick, which was the black one. But other diamonds didn't have that. Their background was very similar to other background colors. So when those background colors are already similar and your symbols aren't standing out or like aren't printed at the same opacity, they just blend in as one big blob of letters. You can't easily detect them and you can't easily see which diamonds you should be placing. And sometimes I just came to a section and just stared at my canvas, trying to figure out which drill had the most drills in it, because that's the color I started with normally. And yeah, I just really could have used a light box for this. And the last problem I had with this canvas kind of ties in with the previous one, and it's the background color again, because sometimes the background color wasn't the same for the same symbol. And what I mean by that is that the color wasn't consistent. It's not like it was a completely different color, but like I will show a picture, and for example, the H letter is like an entire row of the same color, and you can just see a line where the color changes and it's a different color. And here it doesn't matter because they're next to each other, so you can easily see that they're all H's. But when the diamonds are mixed together and like are spread apart more, that's when it becomes an issue, because one of the things that makes it easy recognizable is the fact that they have a background color, but they're not the same background color. So once they're spread apart, it becomes very difficult to find the same symbol. But the grid helps, so the grid kind of solves that problem a little bit. And I know that I just mentioned a lot of problems and that it may come across that my experience was kind of negative, but it wasn't really. In the end, I really liked doing this painting. I really liked how it turned out, and at most those problems slowed me down a little bit. It's not like it interfered with my experience overall or my love for diamond painting. I really love doing this and I'm coming out of this process rather positively. That was most that I had to say about this product, except for one thing which I did mention in my unboxing video, and that is that I'm so glad that these diamonds came in a resealable bag. Like, thank you, that is such a good decision on whoever decided that at Victoria's Moon. Keep doing that, it's great. Because I don't have 27 small containers just lying around. And yes, you can buy them on the website and at like other places and stuff. But I just find it so positive that you can buy the box and have your set of diamond painting and you can just start the process. You don't need anything else except for the things that come in the box. And I really, really like that. What I ended up doing for my system is that I placed all the plastic bags in the right order and I put them in this container and like small box right here. If you recognize this sticker, hi, I like you a lot. We have multiple of these boxes that we have for years and just didn't use, so I use it for this. And hopefully we can see it, but I did stack the bags in rather nice. Like, now I'm finished with it, so they're a little bit empty, but when they were full, they were like stacked. You couldn't get anything more inside. And what I really, really like about my system is that I can place every single thing that I needed to diamond paint except for the canvas in this box. So like, my tray and wax are in here, my applicators are also in here, and I have a reusable bag, also closable for like scrap pieces of diamonds, and I also have the reference sheet in here that I cut out from that big A4 paper to just the symbols. And everything fits inside pretty nicely. I can just store this away like this. This takes up no space at all. So just to say it again, resealable bags are great. Thank you, Victoria's Moon, for making that decision. I've now said every single thing that I wanted to say except for the end result, which will be later. But if you look at the time, you'll realize that I'm not done talking just yet. And that is because I do want to talk a little bit about the company, Victoria's Moon, and their website for a little bit. Because one of the things that I quickly realized / got confronted with when I started diamond painting in general, not with this painting, but just in general, is that a lot of artwork gets stolen for these things. There are a lot of different companies out there with like either their own website or they sell on websites such as AliExpress, and they make those paintings very, very cheap so that they can sell them very, very cheap. And if you are someone who does buy those paintings for very cheap, know this, I am not judging you or trying to make you feel bad. This is not directed to anyone who watches this, but more directed to the companies who make those kinds of paintings. Because where my issues lie with those companies is that they use the same artwork on their canvases. So you can find one piece of art that you really, really like, and you can find it being sold by different companies, and you don't know which is the original one because all those other companies, I'm pretty sure, are not paying the artists to sell those artworks, and they are definitely not crediting them. And for me, that's not okay. In my opinion, the photographer or artist should always either be mentioned or at least getting paid to have their art on diamond paintings. Companies shouldn't be allowed to just take an art piece that they like and put it on a diamond painting and sell it. Because a lot of those companies don't have the rights to that artwork. They just put it on and sell it and make money out of it. It's not like a company has to put the name of the artist on every single painting that they have, but I would just like to see credits given somewhere on the website. And so originally, when I got contacted by Victoria's Moon, I wasn't really sure if I was going to accept or not, because I couldn't find on their website where their artwork came from. Before I even accepted the offer, I emailed them back saying like, hey, where did you get your artwork from? I can't find it on the website. Could you tell me? But I did eventually find it on their website. If you scroll down to the bottom of their website, like at the front page, you will find different kind of tabs to pages. So like you have their FAQ and an About Us page. It would be logical to think that if there was credit given, it would be on those pages. It is not. It is on the terms and conditions page. Who looks at the terms and conditions? Not me. I did eventually because I wanted to find it. And if you scroll down on that page, you can go to a section of the copyright, and it says like all text, graphics, photographs or other images, button icons, audio clips, logos, slogans, trade names or word software and other content on the site, and then in brackets collectively content, belongs exclusively to us or its appropriate content suppliers. And they mention that they have a compilation, which is the collection, arrangement and assembly of all content on this site. That's it. That's all I could find about where the artwork is from. And that to me is not in normal language. And they did email me back saying that some pictures in our websites are from artists who have allowed us to use their pictures, and some are from our factories. If that is true, why don't you just put it on the website? Like, you have an FAQ page. Use it. I can't be the only one who wants to know easily where the artwork is from. You can just add a question to your FAQ, which is like, where is the artwork from? That's all you have to do. It's very easy. Because to be honest, if I hadn't found that page and if you hadn't emailed me back saying that, I probably wouldn't have agreed to do this. And I just want to say, I know there are going to be people out there who think I'm making a way too big of a deal of this. And maybe they are right, maybe I am blowing this out of proportion. But to me, it's important because I don't make diamond paintings that often. And when I do make them, I want to make sure that the companies I'm either endorsing or buying it from are being ethical and aren't using stolen artwork. Because my platform might be tiny compared to the entire YouTube website. Like, not even the entire YouTube website. My platform is tiny compared to the art community, but it's still a platform. And I want to be able to set a good example for it. But now that I have that whole tangent out of the way, I can finally end this Speedpaint and talk about the end result. And it's not just the explanation that took a long time, it's also the process that took a very long time. 48 hours and 31 minutes to be exact. 48 hours and 31 minutes. I spent 2 whole days making this thing. So let's see if the end result was worth it or not. And I'll put it simple. Yes, it was worth it looking at the end result and looking at this entire diamond painting. I just love it. I really, really love it. And as you probably can see, I'm not an expert at it. I still have a lot to learn. I can't place my diamonds straight quite yet. I still need to work on that. And this is one thing that I did forget to mention previously. I have a love-hate relationship with the black diamonds on this painting because I love how they look and they are so shiny and so black and just so reflective. But they're not just shiny and reflective in the end, they're also shiny and reflective while you're doing it and while you're picking them up, which makes it very, very difficult because I couldn't see the contours of those drills. So I had no clue if it was a defect, if they had like a hole in them, if I had placed them correctly on my tool, and if I was placing them down correctly. So it was basically a guessing game if I had placed them correctly or not. But in the end, it doesn't really matter because just look at how good they look. They really do steal the show of the entire canvas, I think. So I've established that I love the diamond painting on its own, but compared to the original picture on the website, I do think that I should have gone a size up because it's not necessarily that I mind the loss of detail. I knew that would happen. I was fully expecting that the flowers wouldn't look that great as the original or that I wouldn't have as much detail in the buildings itself. But what I don't really like is the lack of color, and especially in a mountain. If you look at it, you can't really see that the bottom of it are supposed to be clouds. They just blend in together because there's not enough color in it. so you can't really make a distinguished look out of them. And that's basically the only thing that I don't really like about the end result. I wished those had been a little bit different and you could distinguish them a little bit more, and hopefully that gets resolved if you go with a bigger size and get more colored diamonds. But looking at it, I'm really happy. It looks great. So I hope you liked it too. And that brings me to the end of this review and the end of this video. This is the first video in which I do a speed paint and have this kind of voiceover where you can still see my face. I hope it added a little bit to the video, and I would love it if you could leave a comment letting me know if you liked it or not, because I certainly liked doing it, but I hoped you did too. So I would really appreciate it if you would let me know. And I just want to say thank you again to Victoria's Moon for sending me this product. I really liked doing it, and I'm really grateful that I'm still a small YouTuber and I get to do these kinds of things. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Their website and a link to this specific diamond painting will be left in the description box down below for if you want to check them out. I have a Twitter and an Instagram also linked down below for if you want to follow me and get updates on my life or on my art in general. You can follow me on there. If you liked this video, please give it a like, and if you liked me and watching me, please consider subscribing if you want to see more of me. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video, and I hope I will see you in the next one. Bye! And that is that I am so glad that the diamonds came in resealable. En especially in a mountain. Maar waar is er mis met mijn stem?